Alright, welcome to Famous First Times, a podcast about big name bonks. I'm Dom.
I'm Ian.
And we're doing celebrity sex stories.
Yep, what we're doing is I find stories about famous fucks written by famous fucks and I bring them to you, a non-famous fuck.
I'm not famous, that's true. Why don't we see if they're woke or cancelled?
Yep, that's what we do, that's one element of it.
Main element.
This time we're looking at two old school rock and roll dirtbags.
And we've got a mate coming over.
Yeah, Big John.
He doesn't know what we're doing.
Right.
It's a surprise for Big John. And he doesn't know what's going on, but we're going to get him involved. We're going to see if he can have like any interesting contribution.
Yeah,
If not, we'll just cut him out, I guess.
Yeah, just fuck him off.
Fuck him off.
Right.
I'll do it again. We'll probably have to do it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but not holding my breath.
Wait, I think John's nearly
Is
here.
it? Is it?
Oh.
Alright, come on, let's do it.
Oh, who's this?
Hey.
Alright.
Yeah, alright.
Right.
Take a seat, John. You're going to sit there. We're just in the middle of summer here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we're
Alright, come on then.
We're doing a podcast. Dom reckons you don't know what a podcast is.
I don't really. You just announce stuff and read it, don't you?
What?
It's like an online thing that you just record, right? Maybe not.
Well, what we're doing in this one, we're reading out stories that celebrities have wrote of when they've had sex.
It's called Famous First Times.
So it's about celebrities losing their virginities.
Oh.
We just analyse it. We do an intellectual discussion about it. Yeah.
Alright, okay.
And you can be part of this one.
Yeah.
Is it actually scripted then of any degree, or is it just something...
We've got
Are you
the
recording now then?
we've got the script.
Proper lull me into that.
It's all true. It's from their autobiographies. So it's,
Alright.
it's public domain. It's,
Crafty muggers just get me.
So
don't even know what a podcast is.
instantly.
Let's show him what an idiot he is.
but this is our podcast, so you can
So, right,
you
okay,
can
yes.
be in it, but
But I'm on the
don't,
periphery.
don't dominate.
Shut up, basically. Oh, God.
Right. So there.
So we've got a story now, haven't we? Mm-hmm. And who is it? I've never seen these stories before.
This is brand new to Dom. So it's yours and Dom's first time together.
What? Oh.
Hearing the
Oh, right.
story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're doing.
What was some other? Yeah, we need to that one. Crack on.
That's a point, isn't it? Innuendo, you fucking bellend.
Oh, God.
The realm of innuendo.
Right, we're doing Lemmy from Motorhead.
Right, okay.
What do you think of Lemmy from Motorhead, Big John?
Why is it onus on me now?
Well, you can ask
When
me.
I think of him, I don't really know him. He seems like he was just a bit of a wild guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's mad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bit of a metaler, probably wasted.
But like really, I imagine him being really like simple. Like he likes his rock and roll. He likes his women. He don't like complicate things with anything.
Mm.
What about when he's younger though? Probably like
Oh,
I reckon he was probably a bit of a sensitive soul, and then he
right.
just got a bit.
Oh.
What makes you think he's sensitive?
Because he rebelled right against that and got all slightly anarchic, angry, metal,
Yeah.
perhaps. Just flipping it. I've no idea.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any evidence. I don't think it's
Stick it up for Lemmy.
I don't think there's any evidence it was ever sensitive. I think that's bollocks.
Yeah.
I think.
Come on, see the flower side.
Well, he was in Hawkwind. He was in a hippie band, but he
There
did
you
get
go.
kicked out of there for taking speed, didn't he?
Too much of that.
Instead of.
And he grew up in the 60s. He was in his teens and 20s in the 60s. So he was a bit of a...
But he was more into like
And
old school
drugs,
rock and roll,
sex,
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Rather than the hippie scene.
How do you think he lost his virginity?
I'm guessing pre-Hawkwind.
Okay.
How old was he when he was in Hawkwind?
I don't know.
So he was born in 45, so he'd have been about 20.
I'd like to think it was when he was proper high on acid on the back of, I don't know, a stage somewhere.
Backstage at a gig.
Maybe.
Yeah, classic Classic rock.
Probably mid-gig. Let's say mid-gig. There's a massive trip-out version going on with the Hawk Wind, like, moves and synth, or whatever's going on.
And
solos.
just someone gets up on stage.
Lemmy's just gone.
Sucks him off.
God, oh, no, maybe. Maybe not that.
Alright.
This is from his autobiography, White Line Fever, and it was published in 2002. And yeah, this is his early story about his early sexual awakenings.
Right, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to do it like this.
That's it, it's a bit long. Yeah.
No, I'm going to do it like this.
Alright.
Sneak your fucking beak out. Fucking rock and roll. You've got to be quiet. My sexual education began when I was very young. My mother brought me home about 3 uncles before we decided on one being dad. But that was always fine with me. I figured she was lonely and she was working all day to feed me and my granny, so I didn't mind going to bed a bit early. And growing up in a rural area, one would find people going at it in the fields. Plus there was always cars, of course, with the windows all steamed up. You could always get a good look at a bare leg or breast as the couple crawl from the front and take back seat. In those days, the fashion was those skirts with the 2 petticoats underneath. which you whisked around and danced a jive. So I used to dance a lot.
Lemmy dancing.
Lemmy voyeuristically dancing to jive, just fucking having a little peek.
Well, people with shaggy cars.
I gave up dancing when the twist came in because it offended me. You couldn't touch a woman anymore. Who was that when you just discovered adolescent lust? I needed to get close and warm, tactile, hands-on, experiencing, giving and receiving and counter-groping, stuff like that, you know.
That's brilliant.
That's just about him discovering sex, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Bloody voyeur Lemmy, like, really bit out of it, really wanting to get involved, but like just from the outside.
Looking through windows.
Oh, they banned it though.
That's why he got angry, proper sexually frustrated. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
If they would have allowed rock and roll to... Can you not touch people in jive? It's all like...
That's,
Is it the
has to be
jar? No, the
contact.
twist. You give it dancing with the twist. The twist, you I suppose you're not touching their
you're
arms.
just doing that.
Oh, is
like
it?
twisting your body. So yeah, he wanted to... If he would have been born like 10 years earlier, he would have been happy.
So the twist, the
Twist fucking...
made
I can't do the twist! I can't do the twist! Bastard!
So that's young Lemmy. Should we?
Right, who's he going to have sex now?
Do you know what? We don't actually get Lemmy's full first shag story. We get a few of his first early ones and his mates and stuff. He talks about shagging a lot. Don't worry. Don't get upset. We're going to find out what he gets up to. But so yeah, this is one of his early times with his first love.
Right, okay. I was in love with Anne. She was 5 years older than me, which at that age is an impossible gulf to cross. But I can still recall how she looked, very tall, mostly legs, sort of a broken nose on them, but she was well attractive. She went out with this really ugly geezer though, and you couldn't understand it. I caught them fucking once in a barn and I tiptoed out going, Jesus Christ. But the funniest story regarding no girl guides involved a friend of mine called Tommy Lee.
Is that Tommy Lee from...
No, because he's like 15.
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee wasn't even born.
Motley Crue didn't exist.
Alright, yeah. I don't know the timeline of rock and roll.
You really
In
don't.
fact,
do you?
without Motorhead, Motley Crue definitely wouldn't exist, would they?
I bet
Yeah.
you're influenced from that.
Tommy only had one arm.
Oh, that's a Def Leppard guy, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but that...
More than one
So what
person
is-
has one. Just
Is he friends with... He's
Just
got
because
to be
he's a drummer,
someone out
he's
of the
not
band.
Tommy Lee from Motorhead.
Tommy only had one arm. He was an electrician, and one time he put his finger on the wrong wire, and He put his finger on the wrong wire and the shock literally burned his arm off up to the bicep. They had to remove the rest of it and stitch up his shoulder. He was never quite the same after that. He used to listen to a lot of things that only he could hear.
What?
What's that?
But anyway, he had this false arm with a black glove on it, which he would hook up onto his belt or put in his pocket. So, one night, two of us sneaked over to the Girl Guides. We crawled under the hedge and through the gorse. But when you're 14, you don't care, do you? You just do anything for a piece. We finally got there and went to this one tent where my bird and Tommy went in the other tent with his. Then it all went quiet, you know, apart from the sound of bed springs. Afterwards, I dozed off for a bit, like people do, because it's all just felt nice. That's why I kept doing it. Then I was startled awake. Whack, ow, whack, ow, whack, ow, whack, ow. So I peeked under the tent flap, and there was Tommy, stark naked with his clothes under one arm, running like a maniac. Following closely behind was a furious guard mistress, beating him on the head with his own arm. I laughed so hard, they caught me. I couldn't move, I couldn't run, I was just helpless. That was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
It's only a bit of harmless fun. Oh, sorry.
Oh, man. No,
It's not allowed to chip in anymore.
yeah, fucking hell. Jesus.
Oh, God. Brought it down, I'm sorry.
Do you think it's true?
I don't know.
It's a bit cartoony, isn't it?
It is a little bit, isn't it?
Far-fetched.
But why would he make that up? Why would he make that up?
Sometimes truth
Good
is
story,
stranger
isn't
than fiction, isn't it?
He doesn't really talk about him shagging a lot, does he?
He's a little bit from the outside looking in, isn't he?
He's more into his mates and other people shagging than himself.
It was more of a comedy moment that was interesting than the actual. Well, I just fell asleep with it.
Yeah,
Because it was nice.
The action
It was
was nice.
nice.
Made me feel good.
Like, would you
It's
think,
like, no mention of what she was like or anything.
but you wouldn't think Lemmy had, like, described sex as nice.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. He's like raw and
Yeah.
powerful and angry.
Yeah, it was nice.
So he had dozed off.
It was nice, I had a
just
dose.
made me fall asleep.
What did you think of his description of her? Tall, mostly legs, sort of a broken nose.
Sort of a broken nose that made her look funny. But she was going out with a guy that was what?
Just a really ugly geezer.
Is that like, oh, I thought I was in with a chance because of that, or
Oh yeah, because he didn't shag her. He was just in love with her.
he fancied? Yeah, she was like 5 years older, so she was way out of his league.
Yeah, he spends more time describing the guy's arm being burnt off than he does his own
He's
shagging.
more concerned with Tommy Lee. Could possibly be Def Leppard drummer or Motley Crue if we quantum leap.
Definitely not.
Definitely.
Right, this is fact-based, John. It's a fact-based podcast.
I'm merely recalling what Dom said. No.
I take all that back, I don't think it is now. Now I'm thinking about it, I feel a bit daft. And we put in a couple of questions to wrap it up.
Oh yeah, so of the two so far, how much bullshit do you think Lemmy's talking?
On a scale of 1 to 10. I mean, I think that initial story where he's just peeping on people shagging in the cars, that's got to be true, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say that's Lemmy. Lemmy through and through.
Yeah.
But the bit about how he gave up dancing because a twist came in, because it offended him. I
can imagine him getting offended. Well, I think he's used a funny word there for, like, what, 12-year-old to be offended by a fucking decent song, man.
Not offended, just frustrated.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying, isn't it?
That's what, but you don't want to say frustrated because it makes it sound weak.
Yeah.
very
Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Still
Oh,
macho.
Lemmy, come on. Let your guard down.
So yeah, a little bit of bullshit. He's trying to be macho rock and roll man, but he can't help letting his sensitive side come through that John spotted in him from somewhere.
Yeah, he knows that.
He liked having a cuddle and a sleep. It wasn't just about him like powerfully exerting himself over someone else. It was like a nice little cuddle.
The arm stuff, hitting him over the head. It smacks of bullshit though, that to me. He's a fucking grufter, Midlandsy fucking old man making up a comedy scenario.
I don't know. He seems quite convincing in it. I think because he's like.
He's gullible, John, isn't he?
We're not getting John back. I'm getting John back for this.
What? Because I'm casting a different suggestion.
Just trying to show the other side of things.
Yeah.
It's not about that. If he's a bellend, he's lying.
And that's what all of these people that we're talking about are. Bellends who are talking bullshit.
John's come in and tried to make out Lemmy's a sensitive soul. It's not.
No, not entirely.
Final question. Do you think Lemmy's woke?
Woke?
Do you know what woke is?
Are we talking about like a working mind or something?
Enlightened, yeah.
God, no, I wouldn't say so, would you?
Not woke as in like spiritually enlightened. Woke as in like
morally and
like righteous in like equality.
like, is he a new man?
Is he a new man? Yeah.
Is he a new man? I would say.
I don't think he's.
Come
on, John.
If you're going to say he is,
No.
we can fuck
I just
off,
think
man.
Lemmy really doesn't give a fuck. I wouldn't put him as a chauvinist.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't actually. I shouldn't imagine he would be. I just think he'd probably be wearing nappies because of incontinence because he's had so much fucking drugs. And that's not a really good sexual look, is it? So I imagine sex went out for Lemmy way back, which is probably why he's recalling these stories of voyeurism, because that's pretty much his game these days, and has been for the last 10.
Wow.
Deep. Yeah, you've made a really good point there, John. That's really answered the question.
Don't fuck me.
Throwing a bizarre slant on it.
Alright, yeah.
That's a wrap. Thanks, guest star John.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
John.
Do you want to go for a pint?
Yeah, it's a good pub.
Alright, so give me a celebrity.
Right, well, we've been doing a lot of my kind of celebrities lately, haven't we, Don?
What do you mean?
80s singer-songwriters like Phil Collins and Barry White.
Oh, they're your people.
Yeah, my
your
guys.
kind of people.
You fucking diss them whenever I bring them round.
Alright, okay, so yeah, they're more you than me.
Yeah. So I thought I'd bring one of your dudes round this time.
Eddie Vedder.
What? No. Oh, God. What would his virginity story be like?
He's very romantic.
Yeah. And he's still with her now. Yeah. No, it's not Eddie Vedder. It's Jerry Lee Lewis.
Well, that's more fucking like it, isn't it?
Yeah. Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, a whole lot of shaking. Jerry Lee Lewis, he's got the tunes.
Only got them two, hasn't he?
Oh, he's got a few. Chantilly Lace and...
It's not him. Fats Domino did Chantilly Lace.
Well, he did a version of it.
No, he's not having Chantilly Lace.
All right.
Fats Domino's.
He's got loads of tunes, and he's good. He's a good performer. He's no Little Richard, but he's pretty enjoyable.
So you're not a massive fan, but you're a fan.
I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I like his tunes.
Right.
Do you not like him then?
I like a bit of all the old rock and roll stuff, 50s, Bill Haley and all that, but I never...
Bill Haley's the fucking worst out of all of them.
He balls, man.
He is.
What was his one? Rock Around the Clock. Rock Around the Clock's... It's as good as anything Jerry Lee Lewis
It's
has
just
ever
a
done.
Hank Williams rip-off, and it's just like 40-odd-year-old man like getting in on the rock and roll scene.
Is that what he was? Was he that old when he did that?
He was at least 40, yeah. And he was shit. He was like, I don't like Bill Haley.
You're only saying that because of Jive Bunny. You think he's Jive Bunny?
No, it's not fucking edgy though, is it? It's not the stuff that was real teenage rebellion music.
It sounds incredible though, that record. Sounds really full on. And it was a sensation. It
was a big pop song, but it's certainly not the birth of rock and roll. It was just like one of the biggest ones. All the shit stuff got in the charts, didn't it?
Ugh.
So anyway, you like the shit end of rock and roll with all the old men trying to have a go at it.
I
Do
think
you like Perry Como?
I've got a couple of good Perry Como songs. Actually. Yeah, I think Bill Haley's all right, and I think it's about as good as Jody Lewis.
All right.
Just that all right-ish rock and roll stuff.
I mean, I don't know loads about his personal life, but he's got that one infamous thing that everyone says about him if you bring him up.
And that is?
That he married his cousin.
His 13-year-old cousin.
13-year-old cousin, yeah.
And that's not on, is it?
I can't say it is, really.
But it was legal in America at that time, wasn't it?
It was legal, so if it's legal, it's fine, innit? Anything legal is fine. But yeah, you can't fucking sanitise the history of rock and roll. Like, all the birth of rock and roll is from all the freaks and the madheads. They, like, kind of created the subculture, didn't they?
Yeah.
If everyone was all squeaky clean like Bill Haley, it'd be a very poor trajectory to whatever music we've got now.
But we'd have better songs.
We'd have more songs that you like.
Right, how do you think he lost his virginity?
Oh, something funky. Probably he had like a much older babysitter. I think he might have been quite young, and like his older babysitter like seduced him, put the moves on him when his mum and dad were out, and he didn't know what were going on.
Right.
So I think he must have been introduced to sex at a young age for him to be. Like, he did not get married like 6 times as well, and
8 times.
Fucking hell.
I think you might be surprised at what actually happened. Okay, this is from Killer by Jody Lewis with Charles White, and it was published in 1995.
Dorothy was a sweet, fine, religious young woman, deeply devoted to the religious aspects of life. She was a very, very good woman. I fell in love with her and we got married in February 1952 when I was 15 and she was 16. Dorothy was also a good-looking girl, sitting up in the front row of church and singing Peace in the Valley, and I looked at her and I thought, Jesus Christ, that's a woman for me. Really, it was love at first sight. I just had to be married, you know. It got back to the sex thing again. Dorothy said, "You can forget that with me, 'cause I'll never do that till I get married." I said, "Well, that ain't no problem." Of course, Dorothy's father objected, and it broke his heart. She was a virgin, I was a virgin, and we didn't know nothing about nothing. I just got into my mind that I had to get married, 'cause I wanted to go to bed with this lady. Sex is not what you think it's gonna be. It all goes together, but it has to be right. I don't know what I was expecting. An avalanche or something. It's not that. It's something that's supposed to be sacred, and Dorothy wasn't wild enough for old Jerry Lee. It sounds like he was disappointed. All that fucking fuss and ceremony, and he just has like a fucking really average bunk.
I don't know what I was expecting. An avalanche or something. Yeah, he means something world-shaking, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't mean like his dick's like gets exploded in like gallons and gallons of cum.
He's kind of religious about it.
Yeah.
It's something that was supposed to be sacred.
But if he thought that, why did he get married to this girl that he just wanted to get off with? Don't know, he just wasn't deep enough to actually fall in love with... I mean, does he say... Yeah, he says he fell in love with her. So what was wrong? Why wasn't she wild enough? But did he still want her to be like a whore in the sack? He couldn't live up to his expectations.
Bit of a big move to get married just to have a shag.
It's an incredibly big move. It's just nonsense. It's just stupid. That's like so much fuss just to get his leg over. Tunnel vision, innit? Jerry Lee just wanted to get his underwear.
So he started fairly young, 15. She was 16, so older lady for young
Older
Jerry
lady,
Lee.
Yeah, but maybe that's why she didn't do it for him.
And then next time he got married, before he was divorced was final, so he was a bigamist.
Oh yeah, I know he just overlapped quite a bit, didn't he? That 13-year-old, he was still married to someone else.
Was it?
And that, yeah, unless that's the one.
Oh, apparently here it says his first cousin once removed. What is that? What does that mean?
It means it's not blood.
Why is everyone that arsed then? It's his fucking...
Yeah, it's because she's 13.
All right, yeah.
But, but people do say, because, that's the first thing I said, his cousin. Like, not that she was 13, he married his cousin.
Did you know about the Elvis thing, the Graceland? This was in 1976. Jerry Lee Lewis was arrested outside Graceland, Elvis Presley's house, for trying to shoot him, armed with a gun.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Attempted murder?
Well, he didn't get to him. Like, Elvis was a recluse at the time, and he'd been trying to get Jerry Lee Lewis out to him.
Yeah.
So, like, come to my house. Jerry replied saying that he would if he had time, that he was busy trying to get his dad out of jail. Anyway, so Jerry Lewis is at a Memphis nightclub called Vapors, drinking champagne. Someone gave him a gun. Lewis suddenly remembered that Elvis wanted to see him, so he got in his car, loaded pistol on the dashboard, bottle of champagne under his arm, and rode off to Graceland. And just before 3 a.m, he smashed into the gates. Presley's cousin was watching, and what was manning the gate, and watched Lewis attempt to hurl the champagne bottle out of the car window, not realising it was rolled up, smashing both. You'll have seen his mugshot. There's the really famous mugshot.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I didn't know that was from that. But I think it'll be fucking open carry laws there, though. You probably just roam around with a gun anyway, so...
Yeah, in Memphis, too.
Just say, oh yeah, I wasn't going to shoot anyone. Just carrying my gun like everyone does.
Elvis died 8 months later.
Unrelated.
Yeah. Yeah, how much bullshit?
Bullshit
in it.
Well, it's all fucking true. The marriage, it's a documented thing that definitely happened, and if she said she didn't want to have sex until they got married, then that's probably right for someone religious.
He's not really bragging or anything, is he? He's just giving a document of life in the early 50s, Louisiana.
I suppose, yeah. That is an accurate document, I reckon.
Yeah. I don't think wokeness comes into it.
We know about his wokeness, but before you ask that, I've got a new segment that I want to introduce to the podcast.
Right.
Let me just get roll VT.
What's this?
This is a new segment that I want to introduce called Woke or Cancelled.
Is he woke or should he be cancelled? Is he a new man or is he a bastard? Is he enlightened or is he a sex pest? Well, let's find out when we play Woke or Cancelled.
Okay.
So what do you reckon? Woke or cancelled?
Cancelled. Married a kid.
Yeah, he's
married a
fucking
baby.
pedo.
Yeah.
It's simple. You gotta go. You're cancelled. You gotta go. Get cancelled. Get out of here.
It's a bit Tiz was this though. Yeah, fuck him. Right.
That was episode 7 of Famous First Times.
To your bad boys, to your rock and roll bad boys.
Thank you very much for Big John for coming in and giving us a really, really interesting take on one of the stories there. If you like John and you want him back, let us know. Get in touch on either the phone number, what's the phone number?
07896 493 664
Or you can email us at
fft@giveover.co.uk.
Or you can just message us on Instagram or Facebook if you search Famous First Times on there.
Artwork and music by
Me, Dominic. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.